Challenges that warehouses are facing today is the topic of my conversation with Jason Griswold. He is Automation Application Manager with Daifuku. Hello, Jason.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you for being with me. So let's talk first of all about the challenges that we're facing in this industry about warehouse efficiency and productivity. What are the big obstacles, the big challenges, the big things that need to be overcome in order to achieve those goals?
I mean, right now everybody's obviously trying to get more efficient. Customers, there's a lot of different product. Everybody's trying to do different things. They're trying to move pallets around. They're trying to manufacture. They're trying to import. They're trying to export. So everybody has different problems that they're trying to solve. And so when people come to you and customers come to you with all these different problems, they're coming to you and looking to you for solutions and trying to help, to get your help,
Get your help, but they first have to understand what it is they need help with.
Right.
I mean,
right.
the challenge number one is assessing what it is you need in the first place. How do
Right.
you even make that initial assessment before you can go to a tech vendor and say, this is the system I need?
So a lot of it comes down to, walking through operations with the customer.
Yeah.
So understanding what the customer is actually doing, understanding the customer's data. So really understanding the customer's unique operations
And pain points.
and pain points.
Where the biggest requirements are, because you can't just swap
Right.
out an entire facility
Right.
worth of automation
Right.
all at once.
Right, exactly. And each customer is not the same,
Right.
right? So you can't just look at a customer and be like, you know what, I did this with another customer, so I'm just going to do this with you.
Right.
You have to get down and know a customer on a unique, almost personal level, understands not just in their warehouse, but like through their operations, what's happening upstream of their operation they're talking about, what's happening downstream of their operation they're talking about, so that you can understand what's happening throughout their entire operation, so that you can really talk to them intelligently and understand what they need and what they're trying to accomplish when they come to you.
I think we can agree that one of the things that everybody needs is labor productivity, better labor productivity.
Right.
What stands in the way of achieving that, and how might one even go about solving it?
I mean, there's so many things about labor productivity. So again, it comes down to understanding their operations, because what part of labor are you trying to increase productivity on? You might talk to one customer and their receiving operation is terrible. They come in and they induct things, they offload it off the truck, and then they've got to go and they've got this whole receiving process that's cumbersome. They've got another customer who's got a put away process that's terrible and unoptimized. Or you've got a customer who, once they need to go and pick something, they don't know where they put it. They have maybe undisciplined workers who will just put it wherever they think they need it to go. Or you get to the shipping operation, they'll just put it on the docks, and when it comes time to actually ship it, it's kind of haphazard, and it's really throughout their entire operations. So again, it's looking at what exactly they're trying to optimize, and then on top of that, how can you do it safely? How can you do it efficiently? And how can you do it in a manner that both reduces cost, reduces headcount?
Well, we talked earlier about the importance of identifying pain points in a warehouse facility.
Right.
Maybe a good way to address the subject of labor productivity is to ask labor to be involved in the process.
Yep.
Because they're the ones on the floor
Right.
tell you what's going wrong and what they've had to put up with all these years. So
Absolutely.
starting there.
Absolutely. So one of the big things that we do when we first start talking to a customer, and one thing that I push almost immediately, is going and visiting the site. Right. So
Talking to the folks on the floor.
right. So observe the operations.
Yeah.
Like, we'll talk to the customer, they'll give us data. They can give us, as many files as they want. But the file doesn't mean anything if I can't actually see the operations, right? So I can see the operation, I can talk to the people who are actually doing it. I can talk to a manager or supervisor and they'll tell me what they think the operation is. But when I can go on site and I can observe what's happening and I can talk to the actual operator and look through and say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? That's different than what other people have told me that you're supposed to be doing. Why are you doing it differently? And so yes, of course, you can talk to the manager and you can talk to them about what they think their pain point is.
Yeah.
But sometimes the story is different when you're talking to the people who are actually doing it.
You imagine that those people have developed over their years a series of band-aids and workarounds that they just live with.
Right.
And they don't tell anybody what they're doing, but
Right.
this is what they do.
Right.
So you find those out.
Right.
That's a great idea.
Right.
Okay, another big question here. If I'm looking to automate my warehouse, I don't want to buy a system that locks me into my current state. I want something that allows for scalability and flexibility over time and over seasonal ups and downs.
Right.
Tell me about how important those are and how one can approach it from that standpoint.
So when you talk about seasonal ups and downs, that's really where data comes into play. Right. So when I go and visit a warehouse, I don't get to choose what day and what volume on that day that I see.
Right.
Right. So I'm picking one data point and I'm seeing that not even an entire day's worth of data. I'm seeing maybe an hour or a half hour's worth of data. And so really you see the operations and you see what a customer is supposed to be doing for a procedure. And then you scale that to data. You get the data from the customer. This is what I do over maybe the course of a year. And so then you can look and see and identify with the customer, all right, well, this is the seasonality of my operations. This is what happens week to week. This is what happens day to day. This is what happens potentially even shift to shift. And so by identifying those trends with a customer, it allows you to really build operations, not just automation, but build operations that allows them to, to tailor and to create something that's functional for them, not just for 2 years in the future, but for 5 years in the future. And then you also create a plan. So you look and lay out a plan with them and say, year 2, this is how your operation works. Maybe year 3 or 4, this is the capacity and you're reaching the max capacity of this type of automation. And so year 6, maybe 7, you look to expand or you look to change the operation in some way. And so you help build a roadmap with the customer because you're really creating relationships with the customer and you're building trust with the customer. And so you're laying out a vision with them to allow them to grow and to really help them see the future on where they can get to.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jason, for helping us to understand some of these big challenges in warehousing and also some ideas for solving them. I really appreciate you spending time with me on that.
Yeah.
May I take a moment to ask you specifically about Daifuku?
Yeah.
Where do you guys fit into the picture?
So as an OEM of, automated solutions, we build, pallet handling solutions, case handling solutions. And so we really build things that allow us to help with all the intralogistics within a warehouse. So from receiving all the way to shipping, we help customers and we manufacture the products and solutions that allow a customer to be successful at every step of the way within their operations. And so we really do focus on the flexibility and the scalability of their operations. And that's why it's so important to us. And that's why we emphasize that with all their customers, because we know that because a customer is not just one size fits all, and our products shouldn't be one size fits all, that we really have to work with the customer on all those things and all those phases.
Thanks again, Jason. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I have been speaking with Jason Griswold of Daifuku. Thank you very much for watching.